Hey Brad Squad, Vanessa Contreras here, and as you know, on Brad Show Live, we're always talking about the global effects of climate change and the power of environmental activism. Today, I'm here in Brooklyn to meet Katerina Bogateriva, a Latvian immigrant whose zero-waste grocery store is helping to reduce our environmental footprint one New Yorker at a time. The store empowers customers to be more conscious of their environmental impacts and the everyday ways they can do their part. Let's check it out. Katerina, thank you so much for having us at your shop today. So can you tell us what is Precycle and how does it work?
So Precycle is the first zero-waste grocery store in New York City. We opened at the end of 2018. The idea is to give people a chance to buy groceries without excessive packaging, because it's, as you might notice, it's a problem. So the way it works is you bring your own containers and we weigh them, and then you acquire food, and at the end, you only pay for the food, not the packaging. We also have reusable containers in store that you can purchase, as well as paper bags.
How did you come up with this idea?
So it all kind of stemmed out of my own frustration as a customer, not being able to make these environmentally conscious choices. I made a lot of effort. It was possible, but it was very, very difficult. I had to go from one store to another, to farmer's market, and being a single parent and a full-time working mom, it was a lot. So that was the time that I started thinking about how I would like to shop myself and, hopefully bring this concept to more people that want to make these choices.
And it's important to even shed light or be an advocate for that. So thank you so much. Now, where do you source the products sold at Precycle, and why is it important to use local vendors?
I think that during pandemic, we learn about the fragility of our supply chains. Also, when something comes from far away, there is a cost to that. We don't often think about it, but the transportation cost, the cost to the environment, the cost to the communities that grow these foods, they need to make them super cheap in order for the big companies to make profit. So I think it's a problem on so many levels. And I think when we shop locally and we purchase goods that are grown here, it's not only better for the environment, it's better for the communities, but it's also better for our bodies, because the food that you get and it's fresh from the field is rich in nutrients. Whereas if an apple was grown in Chile and it takes 3 months to your table, it's a different story.
Could you share a little bit of your immigration story?
I am originally from Latvia, which at the time, growing up, it was the Soviet Union. I came to US in the year of 2000. I came here on a student visa, and at some point for me to continue studies and work was unsustainable. So I was actually undocumented for 7 years, and then I got documents and was pardoned through a marriage.
And why did you come to America?
I always knew that I didn't want to live in Latvia, not because I don't love my country or my culture. It's just that society is very homogenous, and there was a lot of prejudice at the time, and I just didn't want to be in it. I always stayed in New York. I find it to be a fascinating place to live and to raise a family. Challenging, but nevertheless, it's a beautiful place to be. And I've been here for 22 years.
Since you've been here, a little over 20 years now, do you see a change happening in American attitudes towards environmental issues?
I absolutely do, and it's really, really nice to see, especially last 5 years. There's so much movement in both in the business sector and on activism and on an individual level of people just realizing that you can live with less. I think it's a shift in thinking, for sure.
Now, why do you think people choose to shop at stores like this?
I think there's a lot of people out there who want to make these environmentally conscious choices, but it's difficult. So I think us being a facilitator in this movement was welcomed very much in the community. Our first year was 2019, and we saw customers coming from far away.
What do you wish more people understood about environmental issues?
I think that there is a lot of pessimism when it comes to just thinking, okay, this environmental issues, they're so vast and there's nothing I can do as a person. And I'd like to see more shift towards thinking, okay, I am only me and I can make small changes in the way I shop, but it can also have a larger impact. And it's not just your loved ones looking at you and saying, hey, I can do this too. But it's also about just strength in numbers. It's one thing if one person does something perfectly, it's not going to have the same impact as many people doing some small changes.
Yeah, and I think we live in such an influential time where we don't always realize the power of one. So just building that awareness, you could go ahead and influence another person to make a complete life change. So what's next for the store?
Oh, it's actually very exciting. We just launched our delivery system, which is online, and then you place an order by 7 p.m. for next day delivery. Why are we different is we are delivering everything in reusable containers, which later on pick up. So therefore, we're creating a closed loop and eliminating waste altogether. So 26% of all things sent to landfill are actually food packaging. So I think it's a massive opportunity for companies like mine to change that and normalize this kind of shopping.
Okay, squad, I loved my time here at Precycle and hearing Katerina's story, how her migrating here led her to create this sustainable store. So if you're in Brooklyn or in New York, make sure to stop by Precycle and take a step forward into living your sustainable lifestyle. Back to you, Brad.
Thanks for watching. For more Brad Show Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.